glad to be working with Joe on this project and to hear a lot of stuff he's doing as well.
Welcome, Richard. Albritton. Guys, since I might have to jump, I'll race through my stand-up. Is that okay? Okay, I see a nod from Lauren. Thanks. Well, here, let me go right through it. Last week, I updated CAD of the gusset plates and for the suspension module V30.10, and I sent those to the water jet cutter to get a bid and ask what the kerf for his water jet cutter machines might be when they're on the economy setting, where the head's moving very quickly. And then I evaluated CAD from that water jet cutter, West Coast Water Jets in Seattle, Washington, for the bolt-together chassis join plates. And I requested he make a change, actually, in the CAD he'd sent back from my CAD that he was planning to cut. Then I produced a blog on Agile 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. It's a scaling methodology for agility that I've been working with clients for years but hadn't blogged, and that's posted on wikispeed.org/blog. Then for Arduino practice, as I started to mention, worked with Richard Albritton to practice building Arduino robotics. And for me, the angle is to apply these skills to the engine control unit of our car, the wiper motor controller, and our dashboard systems, building on David Lighthouser's work. I received a quotation for DOT-approved glass meeting the AS1 clarity requirement, which is required for primary glazing on automotive vehicles. And they gave me a price of $5 a square foot. It sounds just too good to be true. I need to update the CAD then next week to work better now that I have such an affordable price. The Linwood Build Party achieved a ridiculous amount of work. They actually set a record amount of work done per attendee last Thursday. I'm in the process right now of uploading a demo video to youtube.com/wikispeed, which goes through all they were able to do. It was unreal, the velocity in one 3-hour build party. Next week, I'll confirm the order with the water jet cutter. I expect to get CAD back that's ready to cut and have the gusset plates for the suspension and the bolt-together chassis join plates cut in preparation for our August 21st and 22nd Extreme Manufacturing Build Party. I need to then deliver another fuel pump, fuel filter, and fuel pressure regulator to the Renton joint venture factory for the next gasoline-powered engine module and an updated side crush structure that's been cut. I do need to update the windshield wiper CAD to bolt below the flat windshield at the recommendation from the glass cutter, and then hopefully order that glass windshield. Then that takes me to my innovation card for next week. Those are all kind of known quantities, cool and moving the ball forward, but known quantities. Then something that's much less known to me, I'm going to try to experiment with CAM, computer-aided modeling, the step that takes a 3D drawing, a CAD, and then outputs files that a robot can cut, G-code. I'm going to try to learn a new CAD software, because right now I keep having to lean on other people like Rob Morbacher, and I'm blocked when he's on vacation like he is this week. There was and that takes me to my block. I'm trying to remember the name of the CAM package that MIT's Fab Lab program recommends. They make it available for free. I'd love any help finding the name of that package, because I've forgotten. It's been recommended to me by a Fab Lab owner, an MIT grad. And it supposedly works on everything from 3D printers to 2D water jet cutters to 3D milling machines and everything in between at all scale. And I hear it's not the easiest to use, but it's free and it works on everything of any scale I'd like. And I'd love pairing to learn that. And I heard Richard take a sharp inhale. I wonder if he has some data for me. That wraps my entire stand-up. Richard, if you wouldn't mind, I'll actually ask you to go next. The format would be, if you don't mind, what you did last week that's related to Team WIKISPEED, like this workshop, anything you might be doing next week related to Team WIKISPEED, and anything slowing you down. And in there, I'd love to hear anything about the CAM.
Definitely, yeah. So basically, yeah, last week what I did was finalize robotics kits and do final building and testing to ensure all the parts were there, come up with documentation for assembly schematics to help out with the workshop, as well as other relevant image-based posters that could easily be read, and then tried to finalize the backlog that was then put up on the board. And prepping all of the laptops with the software so they were ready to go.
That's a brief summary of actually an enormous backlog that Richard took on over the last 2 months and conquered quite a bit of it in the last week. Richard, is there anything Team WIKISPEED related that you think you might be doing in the next approximately 7 days?
I think much for a lot of this stuff wrapped up, but I would definitely like to get together and chat about how to possibly get some how to deal with explaining to people who haven't used software or might not be familiar with a certain piece of software, and to convey that message as basically as a backlog item. How do you get them prepared for that, or what would be some options to include that kind of thing?
I dig it. Sounds like an opportunity for pairing. And do you happen to know the name of the cam package I was hunting for?
You know, I can't remember it offhand, but I have it, and I know exactly what you're talking about.
Is it Coco Pelli? I just did a quick Google.
Coco Kelly. I don't think that's the one that I downloaded, but basically it'll take any 3D model and you can slice it.
That's
so
what
it
I
can
want.
be printed in a 2D printer, but you can also have it basically take all of the triangles on the surface, and it'll flatten them out so you can actually print it out on a piece of paper and fold it to make a three-dimensional image. But it does a lot of really cool stuff with being able to take a 3D image and provide you with many different ways of outputting it. And it is definitely free, and it's I've had a small amount of time to play with it, and it definitely is really, really cool.
And Lauren, that name, gosh, it sounded like Cocapelli, but not, may also be the solution. And that doesn't ring a bell, so I don't think it's the one I'd heard, but that doesn't mean it's not the one I want to use. I'm glad you just found that. I'll try to dive in. I'll attempt to make that part of my research story for next sprint.
Yeah, I'll email you the link.
Thank you, sir. That completes stand-up from here right now over in Bethesda, Maryland. Who would like to go next? Who would like to go next, Lauren?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I did two things. One was I read Chris's excellent information on the existing hardware open licenses, and I started watching a lawyer for Shuttleworth that Chris sent me, a lawyer for Shuttleworth Foundation, talking about the specifics of a wiki that had hardware designs and things on it, and how they handled the. It's detailed in terms of they were talking about whether to tell the people once with a pop-up exactly if they uploaded things. That was the issue of uploading things, informing them of the license that it was, and other kind of details. So I'm still working my way through that, and then I broke off that and started working on the 501c, and so I've got a little bit more on that, not as much as I like, and it's uploaded. So I just replaced the two documents, the attachment and the Form 1023 on the website, on the Carica card, and that's it for me. And blocks have been a red tape in the healthcare system, and let's see, yeah, that's it. I'm continuing to kind of break free of various chores I have to do.
I absolutely understand, and we have to balance the rest of sustainable living with passionately improving the world we're living in. Lauren, I appreciate every piece of that. Related to the blocks, were you able to set up an appointment time with Dr. John Aguilar?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember that item. I have to look at that.
Oh, well, it's off topic. I was wondering if it was a very quick answer, and it was related to the issue.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I'm gonna have to look through things and find that.
Oh, no problem at all. Excellent, Lauren. Please reach out to me with requests for pairing.
Okay.
Next week, which I know isn't exactly local to you, but it means it'll be easier for me to flex my schedule because I have a little more control over it. Let me know if there's opportunities I can pair to accelerate your work.
Yeah, okay. How do you spell that last name? I just want to get it now before I forget.
Oh, Aguilar, the ninja acupuncturist.
Oh, yes. Yeah, no, I've made a little progress in that, and there's a few things that I'm going to communicate with you about that. Yes, I did get information from him and so forth, and thank you very much.
Oh, sure. I thought it might address the last block you mentioned, or help.
It will, yes.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, he actually, earlier in things, saved my life. Chris, would you like to go next?
Certainly. Okay, I'm going to have to share my screen here to do this, I think. Awesome. Let me look and see what I did. Okay, so on the WIKISPEED store, I added graphics to the crash test and to the extreme manufacturing course. And I also made the extreme manufacturing course actually a affiliate link to Scrum Inc.'s page. So that basically just links out to their page from here. And then there's also, I put the information from that page inside of the product as well.
That's awesome right there.
Okay. I think that kind of works for what we had discussed. Of course, after that class expires, we'll have to go back and change this link to whatever the next one is, or remove it, or whatever we need to do there. So.
Yeah, there is a next one posted on Scrum Inc., so that could happen. But you're right; it does create a maintenance concern, which means what I need to do, although it's not too overly complex, I need to log into the tool and make sure I know how to update it, so that you're not a single point of failure. So that two of us have practiced on how to update that. So I might ask you questions when I try.
Okay, cool. So let's see. The other thing, I think Lauren had just mentioned this, but I added some information to the card that's sourcing the that's tracking the open source license. Those basically just links back to Open Source Ecology's page and the Creative Commons license which they're using there.
That is also awesome.
Other than that, I started. I don't need these really ready for demo, but I'll pull them up anyway. I started working on the TCC Innovation Forum elevator speech. Got just not much done on that. Basically, some copy and paste there. And then I started also very little, but just a basic outline of the form letter for people to be able to send out to friends about WIKISPEED. And share that. Okay. Did you want me to go ahead and do sprint planning now too?
That would be awesome if you don't mind.
Okay. So the plan is I need to look at, there's a, on my end anyway, on my computer, and I'm sure it's happening other places, there's a periodic error on the website that's an internal server error. I just need to figure out what's going on with it. Occasionally when you click on a link, it just goes to an error page. And I believe it's more than likely related to a plugin or the latest update of that I did with WordPress. So I need to see if I need to roll it back, do some configuration changes, or possibly update. There's several new updates that have come out for some of the plugins. Other than that, I'll work on the innovation form elevator speech a little bit more, and I'll work on that form letter a little bit more. And I also plan on adding, there's another page on Scrummy's site that just generally talks about the Extreme Manufacturing Build Party. So on that, I'll actually put a link to that page on the Extreme Manufacturing page on the WIKISPEED site.
Well, there's two things. There's a build party and there's a Extreme Manufacturing 2-day class.
Okay.
You both don't have to be on our website. It's great if they are, but just to make sure they're not crossed. There's a build party, which is a variable length of time depending on the venue, and there's a 2-day class called an Extreme Manufacturing Certified Scrum Master class or Extreme Manufacturing Black Belt class. In the link, I noticed the price was $16.50, which is the 2-day class. Whereas a build party, since they're hosting the whole thing, they get to send a lot of people to it included, but it costs a lot more. I think it's 18,000 domestically, 22,000 in Europe or Asia, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll gather that information and put it in the appropriate spots. Then so I made a note on the item here, and that's really. I mean, I think that may even be a little bit more than I'll get to next week, but that's what's on the plan anyway. And I don't really think I have any blocks.
That's because you're awesome. Well, folks, I actually think that wraps it in record time. Rob Moorbacher's on vacation. Michael Olchek, last I heard, was doing something a lot like a vacation, although he's a bit of a workaholic. I'm not sure if it's really vacation. I think he's building or repairing a whole other cabin or something, and that's what he calls vacation. Or laying a new foundation for something. It's awesome, etc. Are there any conversations to unblock each other's blocks or cross questions? Awesomely awesome. With that, folks, we've covered everything required to stay in touch as a company across all sites and coordinate to, I hope, propel each other a little bit next sprint. And it took us 21 minutes. Much obliged. You guys are awesome. Lauren, please do reach out to me at your convenience to schedule a pairing session if that's helpful. Chris, I'm going to attempt to log into the store and experiment with just being able to edit the fields, even though I don't have any fields that I need to change right now on the store page to verify I can help maintain it. So you're not the only one in the world, because right now you are. I haven't tried it.
Joe?
Yes.
In what connection the pairing session? Sorry, that context. I got lost in the context with the acupuncturist.
Oh, right. No problem. It was in any of your work related to the 501c3 filing or the open source license.
Yeah. I'll try and put a nice list of questions. There is a list of questions already, but it's not complete on the accompanying document on the card. So I'll keep you alert as to as I add them. There is something there. You can take a look at it and add it if you want to. And once it's complete, I will schedule a session.
Love it, but specifically if there's anything I can do to help you get it to complete in a way that's happier or faster, I'm interested in that. So let me know.
Okay.
Chris, is there anything I might be able to do in the next sprint to help accelerate your work or just make it happier for you for any part of it?
No, actually, I think everything's going pretty good. So.
Awesomely awesome. Okay, folks, then I'm amazed my ride hasn't arrived yet, but I think I need to leave any second. So I'll let us go. Thank you very much. Take care, guys. Email me if you need anything. I'll be able to answer them, well, gosh, tomorrow sometime when I land in the next place. Take care.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.